In just a few moments, The Man from Homicide, starring Dan Duryea. Henry J. Taylor, author, journalist, and ABC commentator, whose commentaries on world affairs are heard each Monday evening on ABC, is on a fact-finding tour of European countries. Periodically, Mr. Taylor takes trips abroad to examine activities at first hand. During the weeks he's in Europe, his Monday evening commentary, Your Land and Mine, will be broadcast each week from a different European capital. He speaks tonight from Heidelberg. So listen for Henry J. Taylor's penetrating analysis on Your Land and Mine.
A Man from Homicide. According to Webster's dictionary, homicide is the killing of one human being by another. According to Lieutenant Lou Dana,
it's the beginning of a dirty, dangerous job that doesn't end until the killer is found. I don't like killers.
every week at this time, the American Broadcasting Company brings you transcribed the star of stage and screen, Dan Duryea, as Lieutenant Lou Dana, the Man from Homicide.
One way or another, people keep dying all the time. That interests doctors, insurance companies, and statisticians. But sometimes people are helped to die, and that interests us. In homicide, we work at it. The death that comes because somebody was afraid, because somebody hated, because somebody killed.
Pretty clear case of suicide, Lieutenant.
The place was a pier jutting out into the bay. The time was 2 a.m. The occasion?
You don't often get an eyewitness to suicide, Lou, but this time we've got one. A cop, too.
The girl they'd fished out of the bay was young. At one time, she might have been pretty. But that time was before the waters of the bay got at her.
Yes, sir, one of our men saw her go in.
They were working on her with a pull motor. What they needed was a miracle.
Yeah. Uniformed man was maybe 50 yards from her when he heard her scream. He started towards her. She was easy to see on account of the lamppost right near the spot she jumped from. By the time he got there, she was under. Lou?
The sergeant was fat. Probably made getting clothes to fit him tough. I thought it was a good thing he didn't have to wear a uniform anymore.
Lou!
Sorry, Dave. I guess I was dreaming. Stick of gum, Pappy?
No, thanks. Lou, okay if the boys remove the body? She's dead.
Yeah, it's okay.
All right, boys, get her out of here, huh?
There was no identification on her, Dave?
No.
No labels on her clothes and no purse, huh? How about a hat?
She was wearing one when she went in.
Where is it?
The hat?
The hat.
Well, I guess nobody bothered fishing for it.
I want somebody to bother.
Well, okay, Lou. I'll put a couple of the boys on it. But
call it attention to detail, Dave. I don't like it.
Don't like what?
That girl dying the way she did? She was young, Dave. Pretty. Death by drowning hurts.
She picked it for herself.
Maybe. She was too alone, Dave.
Suicides don't usually look for company.
They don't bother dying incognito either.
Well...
Sure, I know. It could have been that way. Did you notice her hair, Dave?
Was blonde.
She'd had a permanent. Even the bay water didn't bother it much. A recent permanent.
Nah, something's working on you.
Yeah. Suicides are tired and worn, bitter sometimes. This girl's face was untouched. She hadn't lived long, Dave. She hadn't lived much. Not nearly enough to find out what life was. Not nearly enough to ask for death. And Dave, she screamed. I went back to headquarters and waited. I wondered how it felt to breathe water instead of air. I wondered why any man chose to be in homicide. After a while, I stopped wondering and just waited.
Lou?
Yeah, Dave?
No sign of the hat. You know, the bay is kind of big.
Autopsy in yet?
I got it.
Thanks.
Anything?
Sure. She was drowned. Water in her lungs. Water that tested out as bay water.
Well, that cleans it up, don't it?
I don't know. Dave, get a hold of the copper so I'll go in. Have him describe the hat to one of the lab men and have the lab man make a sketch of it.
Sure, only
Why? I'm trying not to believe that life's so lousy a girl like that wouldn't want it. Her clothes were cheap. It's been a warm night. Why was she wearing a hat?
Have you got something there?
A bad taste is what I've got. Get me that sketch, will you, Dave? If nothing else, it'll look good in her file. The rest of the routine went along fine. Pictures of her would go to the papers, and the request for identification would go with them. There might be trouble, though. The people who'd known her hadn't seen her dead. Her lungs filled with bay water. It makes a difference.
Here's your sketch, Lou.
Thanks. Wow. This is quite a hat.
Yeah. Designer must have just heard about the birds and the bees, not to mention the fruit.
Elaborate and expensive. It's a wrong note, Dave. Too much hat.
Oh, you're a stubborn man, Lou. Maybe the girl just blew a week's salary on that hat. Kind of a splurge.
Just before she decided to die?
Yeah.
No one's come in to identify her, huh?
Not yet.
Not ever.
You're guessing wild.
No, I'm not. Why were the labels on her clothes removed? Dave, have copies of that sketch made. Put a few policewomen on the job. A hat like that means a designer. It's not mass production stuff like the girl's clothes. I want that designer found.
Okay, Lou. And if we turn him up?
Make sure our people don't get spotted as cops.
Yeah. And then what?
And then I'll go visiting. I never heard her scream, Dave. Just a report about it. But somehow that screams in my ears. I want to get rid of it. It took time, but the dead girl had all the time there was. Finally, I got an address. And a name. The name was printed large in gilt letters on a shop window. It read Vogue Millinery. Underneath, in small letters, Martha Wayne. I went in.
Hello.
Hello.
I rather like to have a man stop in. I get so tired of... Well, women are fine. They're the ones who buy my hats mostly, but... Oh, you did want to see me about a hat.
I did. You're, Mrs. Wayne?
Miss Wayne.
You design all these hats?
Yes. Guilty as charged.
They're manufactured here?
Manufactured is such a large word. They're made here. I usually have someone help me.
Oh, isn't that a lot of work?
Well, not really. You see, I make only one of a kind. Not very many at that.
Then, any hat bought here...
Would be absolutely unique. You're thinking of surprising your wife?
I'm not married.
Well, you're thinking of surprising someone?
In a way. I have a picture here.
Oh?
Look at it.
I see. Oh, she's very pretty, of course, but the photograph isn't terribly good, is it? I mean, it looks distorted.
Maybe. You, don't recognize her?
Recognize? Oh, she must be a celebrity, and I'm very stupid, but... No, I don't recognize her.
No, she's no celebrity. She bought a hat here.
She did?
That's why I thought you'd recognize her.
Oh, I have a very bad memory for faces. Now, if you showed me the hat she bought...
I've got a sketch that might help. Take a look at it.
Oh, you're quite an artist, aren't you?
This is one of your hats?
Oh, I think so. Your friend told you she bought it here?
No.
Well, then however
You
did
put labels in the hats you make, don't you?
Oh, of course. I'm terribly dense. All you had to do was look inside the hat.
You keep records of the sales you make?
Well, naturally. The kind of clientele I have. And besides, there's so many taxes we have to pay.
I want the name of the girl you sold that hat to.
Her name? But if she's a friend of yours...
I didn't say that.
Well, no, but I assume
I'd
that...
like her name.
I'm sorry. I don't think I can give you that information.
Why not?
I don't know that the lady would want you to have it.
The lady's wishes don't matter very much. Not anymore.
I beg your pardon?
My name is Dana, Lieutenant Dana. My credentials.
Oh. Well, there isn't anything wrong about...
Your hats? That wouldn't be my business. I'm homicide.
Homicide? Oh, then you'd be Lou Dana. You're the celebrity.
Well, the papers run out of copy every once in a while.
I didn't recognize you. Although I've seen pictures of you. You look younger and...
The name of the girl?
Oh, I'm sorry. My record's in the back room. If you'll wait a few moments.
I'll wait.
I'll be right back.
It was a long distance from the cold waters of the bay to the warm, perfumed shop where Martha Wayne made hats. I wondered how the dead girl had got from one place to the other. It kept me from wondering about Martha Wayne and the things that had nothing to do with death. Martha Wayne was taking a long time. Too long a time. Miss Wayne? Miss Wayne? Miss Wayne! There was a back room. It held a couple of sewing machines, odds and ends of equipment, a desk, a chair, and an open window. The window looked out onto an alley leading to the next street. It was empty. As empty as the room I was in. Lieutenant Dana, I want an address for a Martha Wayne. She's not in the phone book, but she runs a hat shop on Miller Avenue. Yeah, that's right. Sales tax people that have it. Make it fast and call me here. The number's Arden 48747. I'm in a hurry, and I don't know why. Dana. Uh-huh. 39 Carlisle. Thanks. The house was an old brownstone. The steps were worn that led up to the stoop. The windows were shuttered. No one was in a hurry to answer the doorbell. The door was locked. The neighborhood wasn't good. Streets littered, sidewalks cracked, doors sagging. I tried a few keys. One of them worked. The lights weren't on. That figured. No one was home. I was wrong. For a while I felt fine. Things were soft and dark and warm. Nothing mattered. That was the way it would be when you died, I thought lazily. But I was wrong. It didn't last. Light came back, and sound, and pain.
Lou.
Oh.
Lou.
Oh.
Lou, wake up, will you? Lou. Wake up.
What? Oh. Oh. Hello, Dave.
Oh, you had me worried.
I seem to be lying down. Yeah. On the floor. Dirty floor. Help me up, Dave.
Okay.
Thanks.
For a minute there, I was scared.
Nobody kills Dana.
Now, that could be wrong.
Sure, but I don't want to know about it. Why did you...
phoned in for this address and then you didn't check in. I got worried.
How long
It's
is it?
11, Lou.
11?
Yeah.
I must have been out for a good 4 hours. Correction, a bad 4 hours.
Yeah.
Dave, did you see anyone when
No.
Now, let's go look through the rest of the house.
Now, you feel all right?
I feel lousy. We'll look anyway.
For what?
A dark-haired girl named Martha Wayne. A girl who runs a hat shop. Right now, maybe. Just a girl who runs. We looked through the rest of the house. We didn't find Martha Wayne. I hadn't expected to. We found lots of other things, though.
Well, that's it, Lieutenant.
That's it.
House full of antique furniture, old silver, paintings.
Very high class.
Very expensive. Also too much.
A lot too much.
Yeah, not a house for a family to live in.
A warehouse, Dave.
What I was thinking.
A warehouse for stolen goods.
We'll get the burglary detail on it.
They'll love us for finding the merchandise.
Now, what does all this make Martha Wayne, Lieutenant?
A receiver of stolen goods, at best.
And at worst?
A killer. The burglary detail came and loved us. The house that Martha Wayne had lived in was filled with the loot from half a dozen big robberies. That took care of that. We put out an alarm for Martha Wayne. That didn't take care of that.
What's that thing you're fiddling with?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
It's something I picked up in the room Martha Wayne lived in. It's a medal, Dave.
Medal?
Yeah. She'd been a Girl Scout. Also a senior lifesaver.
What flavor? Trying to be funny.
Relax, Pappy. I don't bite. I hope that's for me. Dana here. Yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah. Good. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.
What was that?
Burglary detail. Good old routine. The cop's best friend.
Yeah. I'm not only getting fatter, I'm getting stupider.
They've been worried about a cat named Barlow. A lot of burglaries bore his trademark the last few months, and they haven't been able to get anything on him, though.
Well, what good is that?
I don't know yet. I'll go ask Barlow.
But if burglary already worked on
They
him...
were gentle. All they had to worry about was stolen property. I won't be gentle.
Lou, you better take it easy.
Dave, there's nothing in my life except what? Death, killers, pain and violence. I'll take it as easy as I know how, but I'm not worrying about stolen property. I'm worrying about murder. Burglary had mentioned the yellow disc. It turned out to be a saloon with a girl singer, an out-of-tune piano, and a tough doorman.
Yeah?
I'm coming in.
Mention a name.
Ralph Waldo Emerson.
I don't like that name.
I'm still coming in.
Look, mister. Nobody gets in the yellow disc without an invitation. You ain't got one.
I got this.
A badge. A real badge. You know what? I bet you're a cop.
You win the bet.
You still ain't coming in.
Let's find out.
You know what this is?
Yeah, a sap. Technically, a concealed weapon.
Well, it ain't concealed now.
You're frightening me.
You're gonna get it.
I've been sapped before tonight. I'm getting used to it.
Well, you must like it. Hey! My arm! Hey, you could break it.
Don't suggest things to me. Drop the sap.
Okay. Well, it won't do you no good taking me. You did a nice job. Walk in there, you got trouble.
Maybe I like trouble.
Okay.
Okay, I'm out of your way. You're tough, sure. You could handle me. There's half a dozen guys in there.
Open the door for me, huh?
Oh, sure.
Thanks. Suppose you announce me.
Oh, okay. What name?
Lou Dana.
No wonder you took me.
You heard what I said.
Yeah. Lieutenant Lou Dana. That's this guy.
Now get back outside.
Yeah?
A saloon. The girl singer left quick. A small combo played background music. A handful of men sat around at small tables. They all bulged at one place or another. Shoulder holsters or hip pocket rods, concealed weapons. Most of them had a girl at the table with them. Their weapons weren't especially concealed.
Dana.
Make it lieutenant. I feel formal tonight.
What do you want here?
Not a thing.
Then get out.
You worried about what?
Something happening to you.
Thanks.
Let's not play games. I run this place. I run it without cops.
Keep right on running it. Which one is Barlow?
I don't hear a word you say.
Which one is Barlow?
You got a warrant for him?
All the mugs in town are turning legal.
I never heard of anybody named Barlow.
Which one?
Move in on me and you'll stop asking questions. You get an answer. You won't like it.
I'm crazy about answers, any kind. Point 'em out.
Okay. He's the one at the corner table.
Thanks. Hello, Barlow.
Hello.
Let's go for a walk.
Okay.
You're coming easy.
Why not?
I wouldn't know. How about your little playmates?
You must have been reading the papers about you.
Convenient. Come on.
Since when you doing burglary, Lieutenant?
I'm not.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Oh, no. We keep right on going. Or don't you believe what you read in the papers?
We keep on going.
Thanks, Mr. Barlow. Thanks.
Hey, what are you stopping here for?
This time of night, I'm crazy about the bay. Get out.
I ain't interested in sightseeing.
Get out.
Okay, but under protest, see?
Under protest. Come on. I want to get a closer look at the water.
I don't know what you got in mind.
I'll let you know in time. Right here ought to do. Up above and to your right, Barlow. That's a pier.
Oh, thanks for telling me.
Down here, we've got more privacy. Funny thing about that pier.
Yeah?
A kid jumped off it last night right into the bay. She drowned.
What's that got to do with me?
A cop saw her go over. With a little luck, she might have been saved. If somebody went into the bay from down here, nobody'd see him, Barlow.
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Oh, no, you're staying right here, Barlow.
What do you want from me?
An introduction to Martha Wayne.
Martha? I don't know nobody named that.
From down here, you'd go into the water smooth and easy. Can you swim, Barlow?
No.
Too bad.
Hey, let go of me.
Ever try breathing water instead of air?
I said let go.
We're right near the edge now, Barlow. One push and... Who'd hear you out here at this time of night?
Okay. I'll take you to her.
Why, thanks, Barlow. Thanks very much.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
Very simple. You're a burglar. Martha Wayne's a fence. You steal the stuff, she disposes of it. The millinery store's a front.
Oh, that's guessing. And besides, what's it got to do with homicide?
That's what we're going to find out. Knock, Barlow.
Okay.
Who is it?
Barlow.
What do you want?
We're both coming in, Miss Wayne.
Lieutenant Dana.
You remembered.
You're not an easy man to forget, Lieutenant.
Thanks. This, apartment's a lot nicer than the brownstone.
What brownstone?
You're listed as the owner.
But there's no law against having more than one place to live.
Tonight, everybody's quoting the law to me.
Why did you bring Barlow here?
He brought me.
I had to. He would have drowned me.
Shut up.
Okay, I'll shut up.
You were really anxious to meet me, weren't you?
I still want the name of the girl who bought that hat from you.
You're very persistent.
So?
Why not forget her, Lieutenant? Wouldn't be hard. I'd help.
All this for a burglary rap?
That's an act, Lieutenant, isn't it? Because you do respond when I'm close to you, like this.
I respond, all right. I remember the kid who went into the bay.
The kid who what?
Last night, a girl wearing one of your hats jumped into the bay. A cop on duty heard her scream and looked around. She was near a lamppost. He saw her go over.
Well, that's very sad, but...
It's more than sad. It's murder.
Murder? But you yourself just told me she jumped in.
She did. But she wasn't the one who died.
She wasn't the one who... You're confusing me.
No, I'm not. You run a millinery store. In that store, you have an assistant. Let's suppose that assistant is a girl. A girl who finds out by accident what your business really is. A receiver of stolen goods. Suppose that girl is young, naive. Tells you she's going to inform the police. What would you do?
You're the one who's supposing all these things.
You'd have to make sure she wouldn't go to the police. One way would be to murder her. But that's dangerous. People get executed for murder. So, with a little help, Barlow's, for example, you get the girl down to the bay and drown her.
That would be murder anyway. Besides, the policeman saw her jump by herself.
You drown her in the bay, in the water underneath the pier. Then you go up on the pier yourself. You're dressed exactly the same way she is. You wait until a policeman's around, some little distance away. You pick out a place near a lamppost. Then you scream. The policeman sees you. He starts towards you, but you jump into the water. The harbor detail dredges, comes up with the body of a drowned girl. The policeman would swear it was the same girl he'd seen go over. It wasn't.
Very, very clever, Lieutenant. But only a guess.
You could do it. You were a senior lifesaver. You swim well. The dead girl was already in the water under the pier. You hit the water, you swim away, climb out of the bay a few hundred yards from the pier. A perfect murder setup.
A guess.
Why would a suicide pick a lamppost? Why would a suicide scream before jumping? Not a guess.
You'll never be able to prove it.
Barlow isn't a very strong character. He brought me to you, and he'll testify, hoping he might get away with a second-degree murder rap. Won't you, Barlow?
Well, she did it all. I didn't know what she was planning.
You see?
I have nothing to say.
No, you haven't. Not anymore. Not in this life. And it all came from a hat. The hat that was wrong. But the dead girl was blonde. You're brunette, Miss Wayne. You had to wear a hat for a masquerade. That hat will hang you. That was all. They were booked, they'd be tried, and in due time they'd die. I finished my report and signed it. I didn't see the paper I was writing on. I saw a young girl with an untouched face and all of her life before her, lying dead and watery on the rough wood of a pier. I don't like killers.
You have just heard another in a transcribed series starring Dan Duryea as the Man from Homicide. The Man from Homicide is written by Lou Vitties, directed by Dwight Hauser. This program came to you from Hollywood. America is sold on ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.